Hello everyone, hope all is well with you and I hope you're staying strong in the Lord. Yes, we are still dealing with COVID-19. We're still going through this pandemic. It's not just a local thing. It's not just a church thing. It is something that the entire world is grappling with right now. But we continue to hold on to God. We trust Him. We know He's in control. All these things happening here is not something that He's not aware of. And in His own time, He will bring an end to what we are dealing with. Welcome to the Fear Not Devotional series. I hope you have been blessed by the things that I've been sharing so far for the past few Fridays. I hope you are sharing the link to your friends and your loved ones as well. And I hope you have been reading the Bible. So I may share a verse or two, and I may even, give you a synopsis of the chapter. But I want you to go beyond the verse or the two and the synopsis. I want you to read the passages for yourself. And we're looking at the Bible. I'm reading from the ESV version. You can read from the King James, the NIV, the New King James, the Amplified, or any version that you're comfortable with. All right. We are looking here at Genesis, the 50th chapter. And we're looking at two verses 19 and verses 20. This is what the Bible says here. The Bible says here in verse 19, "But Joseph said to them, 'Do not fear. Do not fear. For am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today.'" We looked at in the previous post for the Fear Not devotional series here, Joseph and Jacob and his brothers, or the brothers of Joseph and the sons of Jacob. And as I shared last time, they had mistreated Joseph. They sold him into slavery. They threw him in a pit. Joseph went through a lot. Jacob was under the impression that Joseph was dead because that's what his sons told him. But God worked it out to where Joseph and his brothers were reunited. And He put them through a series of tests. And they came out successful. Jacob learned about what was happening, and he found out that Joseph, his son, is really alive. He got gifts. He got all types of things to show that he's alive. And he ended up going to Egypt to join Joseph, and they lived in the land of Goshen. The Bible tells us here in chapter 50 that Jacob died, and Joseph and his brothers and his families and all the individuals that were attending to Joseph in his high position followed Joseph to go bury Jacob. After the time of mourning, after the time of sadness, the brothers of Joseph, catch this now, his brothers, they were concerned that now that Jacob is gone, Jacob is dead, they were concerned that their brother Joseph would be seeking to avenge what they did to him. So what the brothers did to Joseph in selling him into slavery. The brothers believe that Joseph was being kind to them, even though Joseph assured them before that everything is going to be okay and he's not holding anything against them. They came bowing down to Joseph and letting him know that they are truly sorry, and that, the father wanted Joseph to forgive his brothers, and that, he shouldn't try and, do anything to them. It's interesting, now the shoe is on the other foot. Everything is in the hands of Joseph. But as we've spoken about, Joseph is a changed man. God has really blessed Joseph to the point where he's now this high official in Egypt, and he's responsible for helping many people survive this particular famine that Egypt is going through. So the brothers are there, and they're thinking that Joseph was going to do something to them now that Jacob isn't around. And that's where we pick up verse 19 and verse 20, where we get Joseph saying to his brothers, do not fear, right? Am I in the place of God? Joseph wants them to know that, you shouldn't be afraid. You should be confident. You should be comfortable in what I have said before. You have seen it in my actions that I have forgiven you. And in addition to that, Joseph said, I'm not in the place of God, right? He's not going to pretend like he has power to destroy them, or power to give them life, or power to do all these. Joseph said, no, that's God's responsibility. I'm not in the place of God. I'm not holding anything against you, right? But Joseph goes on to say something else to them to further reassure them, after saying, do not fear, right? I'm not in the place of God. Joseph says in verse 20, as I have read to you before, you meant it for evil. You meant it for evil, right? So maybe it's not something that they wanted to hear, but he pointed it out that what they did was something that they meant for evil. But the God that we serve, catch this now, I really want this to settle in your spirit. The God that we serve is bigger than any and everything that we will face in this life. What do I mean by that? Or what are you saying, preacher? God is so big, he's so all-encompassing, that he can take all the good and the bad that we deal with in life and still work out his perfect will and his perfect plan. That's what I said. God is so all-encompassing. He is sovereign. He knows the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. So whatever it is that we go through, whether it's good or bad, God is able to take all these things and work things out for his glory, for his honor, so that God's name will be lifted, and we will be directed according to his will and his plan. So the brothers did something to Joseph, thinking that they were just executing a terrible plan, or evil plan, a wicked plan. But Joseph is letting them know that God is ultimately in control, and whatever they meant for evil, God used it to do some great good. He spared Joseph's life. He spared the lives of the Egyptian. Later on, Joseph's family ended up being pulled into this. And of course, we understand that the Israelites multiplied in Egypt, and they became a great nation. And we know in the long run that the tribes of Israel, right, came out of this small situation here. God was working on a bigger plan. They meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. So the things that are happening to us, or the things that have happened to us, we shouldn't see it as something that is beyond God and that God is not able to do anything with it or about it. No, we must be confident in the God that we serve, that he can take bad things and work good things out of it. We may not like that we're going through it. We may hate it. We may despise it. We may feel a certain way about it. We may get depressed and dejected. But if there's one thing we should know, is that regardless of what those things are, God can work them out. God will use them to work things out for our benefit. And ultimately, it is for our salvation. You meant it for evil, Joseph said, but God meant it for good. I'm so glad that we serve such a wonderful God, such an awesome God, such a powerful God, that we can be confident in, whether things are going good or whether things are going bad. Thank you for spending the time with me. Once again, I hope you are blessed. I encourage you, read the word for yourself. Share this information with somebody who you think can benefit from this. May God bless you. Continue to hold on to Him. Remember, only what you do for Christ will last.